Well, thank you very much, Bob. And I see a lot of familiar faces out here. I'm normally, for the 40 or so years I've been doing this, I've always been on this side. So this is kind of unique. I'm not going to take a lot of time. I know when you do these media day things, you kind of want to get in and out. But this is very important. And let me just give a lot of credit to Bob, because this really came about as a result of somewhat of a pretty tough conversation that we had. We were having a typical, forum, and we talk about, diversity and that kind of stuff. And I basically said, okay, wait, time out. Just wait a minute. I've covered tons of national championship games and Final Fours, and I said, I've been doing these things for so long, and the only time I see the heaviest concentration of young black people is basically on the court or on the field. And as you go back in the press room, as you go to media operations, it gets wider and wider and wider. And it's been like this for years, and we can look around now, And one of my missions is, well, how do we get more young African Americans into this industry? Not just in journalism, which obviously we need, but also in event operations, and just almost every other phase of this industry. And again, where we are mostly concentrated on the field and and on the court. And so to Bob's credit, he stopped me almost in mid-sentence. And he said, you're right. How do we begin to fix this? And at that time, I just started working with ESPN. As many of you know, I was with the New York Times for almost 35 years. And he said, how do we start to fix this? And we started talking about it and talked about it. We had dinner. And I said, well, I'm working with the Rhoden Fellows, which is 6 students on a 2-year internship, a fellowship through ESPN and the Undefeated. And basically, they're going to be with me for 2 years. And, I'm going to show them what I know and what I don't know, introduce. Some of you have already met them and spoken with them. And as a result of our conversations, we're here. 3 of them are here. I don't know if you met Isaiah Smalls, raise your hand. Isaiah's from Morehouse College. Simone Benson from Morgan State, my alma mater, the best HBCU in the country. Donovan Dooley's from North Carolina A&T, arch rival. It's a miracle he's here, but he's a great, he's a great kid. But I guess if I have any message, is that I know we talk about change, and people say, well, things are changing. It takes a long time to change. You know what? Actually, sometimes change only takes 5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes, and that's about the time that it took Bob and I to talk and him to realize that, you know what, there's a problem. It took maybe 5 to 10 minutes to recognize a problem, and let's deal with it. It's not really that complicated to solve these problems. If your heart's there and the will is there, it's not really that complicated. So again, I'm not here to make speeches and talks. I just want to thank Bob, the Big 12. We're going to be working together, hopefully for a long time. And we also hope that the Big 12 isn't alone. It's all of you who've covered, whether it's the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, it's the same thing in every single conference. This picture is the way it is in every single conference. Black kids on the field, black kids on the court, and that's pretty much it. And we want to work to help change that. There are a lot of really bright and talented kids who I'm working with, who are being exposed to different aspects of this immense industry. So again, I want to thank all of you for being here, my colleagues. Again, thank the Big 12 and Bob especially. Thank you for being so accommodating, and Bob Bird, of course, who's been the bridge and the go-between. Thank you very much, and also thank you for helping get the ketchup off of my jacket. So anyway, thank you all, and thanks again for being here.
We have any questions for Bill?
Do we have any answers? Okay.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay. I'm looking for the answers.